So, in order to understand how to properly get on the frequency to attract your life partner, you have to think in terms of the universe hands you a mirror image reflection of the frequency that you're on. A lot of people don't really understand that. Well, a lot of people don't really understand what frequency they're on either. I'm going to give you a couple of cheesy examples, okay? Most of us kind of function in such a way that we kind of feel like if we say to ourselves, I need this, then the universe is going to say, okay, here you go. That's not at all the way that it works. When we think mirror image reflection, if I say, I need money, the universe says, yes, you do. Your wish is my command. So, what is it that 98% of the population is saying to the universe? I'm lonely. I need a lover. What do you think the universe hears when you say that? You think the universe is looking at you saying, oh, you poor thing, you are so lonely. Here's your life partner. Do you think that's the way it works? One of the many lessons that I learned when I was homeless is that it's not the thing that we actually want. Okay? If you walk up to a homeless man and you give him $10,000, do you think that's going to fix his problem? $10,000 is plenty of money to take anybody up off the streets, get them into a cheap little apartment, fill their house up with food, get them some furniture on OfferUp for a few $100, fill their house up with groceries, go get them some brand new clothes, buy them a cheap little car, plenty of gas to get back and forth looking for a job. $10,000 is plenty of money to take anyone off the streets and get their life going in the right direction. But if you just walk up to a homeless man who's not on the frequency of abundance, who's not on the frequency of getting his life together, and you just surprise him with $10,000, he's going to take that $10,000 and throw a party under the bridge and end up right back where he was to begin with. It's not the money that he needs. It's not the lack of money that's his problem. It's the frequency he is on. Disclaimer, I'm not saying don't help the homeless. That's not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't help homeless people. Absolutely help people in need. What I'm doing here is I'm painting a picture and making a point. Do you understand the point that I'm making? So the same thing with love and romance. If you have somebody who is broken, who is lonely, who is empty, and has a lot of trust issues, and has low self-esteem, and has a bad relationship with themselves, if you bring that person the perfect lover, say, here's your life partner, do you think that's going to fix their problem? Absolutely not. That person is going to make them feel 10 times more insecure than they ever imagined feeling. They're going to sabotage that relationship with their insecurities and end up right back where they were to begin with. Because it's not a lover that this person needs to fix their problem. Are you understanding the point that we're making here? So, if I say to myself, I don't want to be alone, I hope I'm not alone for the rest of my life. Essentially, the universe hears, I don't like being alone with Rich. I don't want to be alone with Rich for the rest of my life. Now, if I am proclaiming to the source, unbeknownst to me, that I'm so unpleasant to be alone with, that I don't want to be alone with me, do you think the universe is going to send me somebody who does? How many of you out there have stopped and asked yourself this question at least one time in your life? Why do I always seem to be attracted to unavailable people? Or every time I'm really interested in somebody, they're not that interested in me. The only people that are interested in me are the people I'm not interested in. You ever know, just for a moment, stopped and asked yourself why that seems to kind of happen that way? Or maybe perhaps you've said this, whenever I'm out there looking for a relationship, I can't find one to save my life. Then when that day comes that I finally get my hands on a relationship, Now all of a sudden, everybody wants me. Everybody notices me when I'm not interested. Have you ever noticed that? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever met a true, genuine, successful couple? And I'm not just talking about a couple that's been together for a long time. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not what I'm talking about, man. I could probably walk around my neighborhood right now and find you 10 or 15 couples that have been together for 20 years, but they're not really all that happy. One of them probably cheated, more than likely. Broke up, got back together, stuck around for the kids. Cheaper to keep her. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those couples that when you see them, it's like the most beautiful, harmonious unity between two people you have ever seen in your life. They're hard to come by. But if you ever get the chance to meet one of those couples, ask them how they came together. Go ahead and ask them. It'll blow your mind. I promise you, they will always tell you the same thing. They'll tell you something to the effect of, we met by accident. It was completely random and out of the blue. I wasn't even looking for a relationship. Some people will even go as far as to say, I had just made the decision to stop dating and focus on myself. And that's when they showed up. My all-time favorite, they're not even my type. That's how unexpected it was. They're not even my type. So let me ask you this. What is it that's happening energetically in the hearts and minds of the people who end up in the most successful relationships on the planet that would influence them to stop looking for a relationship? They formed a relationship in here. That's what they did. Most people who do this do it by accident. And that's the process depicted in the Suit of Cups too, in the tarot. I'll show you that here in a minute. Let me go ahead and show you the process of accidentally manifesting true love as depicted in the Suit of Cups in the tarot. I'm going to start this off with the Seven of Cups. Okay, I would feel very safe saying that most of us who are at least here watching people like me, this is somewhere around the frequency that we're on, okay? In this card here, the person depicted has a dark, empty void. He's empty, dark and void of love. He's lonely. And he's thinking about or looking out to or picturing all those cups out there, wondering which one of those cups out there will fulfill me and take away this dark, empty void for the rest of my life if I drink from it. There's got to be a cup out there, man. Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Well, in the tarot, what this dude ends up doing is he drinks from every single one of those cups. Every one of them, he drinks it dry. Finally, he says, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this. Every time I drink from one of these cups, it's the same thing. Every time. I end up empty and unfulfilled. My expectations and hopes and dreams come crashing down. So you know what? I'm done with that. I'm walking away from love. Unbeknownst to him, though, he's not walking away from love at all. He's walking away from what he thought love was. He thought love was only something somebody could bring to him that would fulfill him from the outside in. Okay? He wakes up one day and he says, dude, do you know what I realized? I don't need a lover to make me feel happy. That's not what I need. I tell you what, if the right person wants to come along one day and love me, that's cool. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But you know what? I'm not wasting any more of my time, energy, and effort desperately looking for and wishing for and waiting for somebody to come and love me before I'm happy. If they show up in my life, that's great. If they don't, oh well. Even if I'm alone for the rest of my life, I choose to be happy. See, he doesn't realize what he's done, but he formed a relationship in here. That's what he did. Okay? Now here's the funny thing about this energy. Now you're attractive, aren't you? Now you're attractive. Remember, whenever I'm really interested in somebody, they're never interested in me. And the only people who are interested in me, I'm not interested in. Well, what do you think happens when you fill this void in your heart and you become unavailable to virtually anybody. Now you're attractive. Not just sexually, not just romantically, just generally. You might notice random strangers striking up small talk with you out in public. People smiling, holding the door. People want to get to know you. You are an enigma because you feel energetically out of reach. There's something that feels out of reach about you. And for some reason, that's attractive. Because for some strange reason, we're always more drawn to what is out of reach. We always want what feels out of reach. And then when something is available to us, we lose interest. So here's another thing about this energy too. This is probably the most important part, so listen up. It's not uncommon at all to go through a period of turning love down. Not everybody goes through it, but a good number of people, I would feel very comfortable saying the vast majority of people, go through a period of turning love down. Because once you fill this void in your heart, you realize it's not a relationship that you're looking for. What we were expecting was for a relationship to create the feeling that we're looking for, because that's what we're looking for, a feeling. Once you find that feeling and you match the frequency, when you least expect it, when it's the last thing on your mind, and very frequently at an inconvenient time in your life, when you're not looking for it and there's zero gravity on the quantum field, that's when your person shows up. Okay? I know those of you who have been following me for a while, you'll hear me say that if you want the 10 of Cups, you have to first collect 9. Okay? The 9 of Cups, the card of being happy and single. Okay? And don't get 9 of Pentacles confused for 9 of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles represents being self-sufficient. Okay? Most independent people are 9 of Pentacles. Okay? This means I don't need anybody to help me survive. I don't need anybody to support me. I function very well by myself. Got my own house, my own car, my own job, my own money. I cook my own food, tie my own shoes, and wipe my own ass. I don't need anybody. Okay? But 9 of Cups means I don't need a relationship to make me feel happy, whole, fulfilled, and complete. Because every time I give that lecture, somebody wants to pipe up and say, well, I've been happy and single for years. How come a relationship hasn't showed up? Because if you were happy and single, you wouldn't be coming to me looking for one. Don't get the two confused. The 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups are very similar, but they're not the same thing. Okay? Now, this is the reason why they always say, if you really want someone to love you, you must first love yourself. I know you've heard that. I know you've heard that, man. We've all heard that, and none of us like hearing that. That's annoying. It doesn't really make any sense. It's called frequency equalization. If you want to think in terms of attraction, vibration, and manifestation, you have to be thinking in terms of my life experiences are a mirror image reflection of the frequency that I'm on. If I'm desperately needing a relationship, that indicates that I have a bad relationship with myself. If I had a good relationship with myself, being alone for the rest of my life would not bother me. And that's just the stone cold hard facts. But most people are too afraid to allow themselves to be happy alone because they're afraid that if they do, then that just means they're going to be alone for the rest of their life. What did I tell y'all about the ego analytical thinking brain? It can't figure out how to create something that it has never experienced before. That's why this thing has to get out of the way because it doesn't know what it's talking about. It doesn't know what it's doing. Okay? Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I know a lot of you out there needed to hear that. Okay? A lot of you out there needed to hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks again for tuning in, y'all. I wish you love, luck, light, and prosperity on your journey. Y'all have a good day.